is a film that wishes to touch upon the responsibilities that we have as citizens of the United States about a policy that is a U.S. policy. So, yeah, I do think that most people are unhappy. I also think that the Cuban government is the first face of authority that Cubans have right in front of them. And a lot of times, of course, they turn to the Cuban government with all their frustration that is very legitimate in all senses regarding the embargo and also regarding the government mismanagement. There's only a few examples of organizations that are thinking about this problem, that are demanding to lift the embargo. So there is a real push. It's not that there isn't. As for why do I think that the embargo is still in place, I think Frenemies talked about that a lot. So I want to throw that question back. What does the audience think after watching Frenemies and, of course, many other sources that you probably have in your studies? What does the audience think? Why is that embargo still in place more than 60 years later? So I think one big problem we have here is still the Red Scare. And I think that it's super important that new generations try to not let themselves be brainwashed by this. One of the aspects of the embargo nowadays is that Cuba is still on the list of terrorist states. Over 30 financial and banking institutions interrupted their relationships with the country. For the past 6 years, the country has had no sources of financing or development credit, and the U.S. has tried to deprive Cuba of fuel, so it has to pay 15 to 30% premium because of the risk that the fuel sellers take. So, it is simply not true that Cuba can trade with every country. It doesn't happen because the U.S. has gigantic influence over other countries, and it threatens. So to say that a people deserve a dictatorship, that people deserve an embargo, I just don't think we should deal with people like that. I think people deserve human rights.